Say to educate Ghanaians on the importance of crime prevention. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm very fine. How are you too?
Not too bad at
Yeah.
all. So tell me, why this crusade? Why is it so important to you to embark upon this crusade to educate the general public about the prevention of crime?
Right. For the over 20 years of service in the law enforcement, I came to realize that we have a problem of the sort in Ghana where we are not security conscious, and we always have to put the blame and the burden on the police. First, we feel the police have the sole right of protecting us, and so we continue pointing accusing fingers at them. Meanwhile, we as individuals will not have done anything to protect ourselves. So the first is the burden that we place on the police. Unfortunately, the police have about 25 other functions which we are not aware of. We are only aware of protecting us and our property, but they have other 25 functions. For example, road traffic regulations, election supervision, and all others. Incidentally, they are just about 40,000 as against the population of 24 million. So we can see the disparity. Then two, we also blame them that, look, you, the police and the courts, do not prosecute the case and adjudicate the cases for us properly, because we don't understand exactly the identifications, the attributions which go into organizing the conduct of the victims, the courts, and then the suspects. If we understand, then we may come to appreciate the effort of the police. Now, then thirdly, you see, we have various facets of crime, but we are so ignorant, let me use that word, about these various facets of crime that we don't even know the modus operandi of these criminals, and we also don't know the psychological aspect, the social psychological aspect of their behavior. So it dawned on me that, look, if I'm able to come out with something for everybody across board, then perhaps I'll be helping not only the police but each individual to protect him or herself, and therefore have peace. And when we have peace within ourselves, then the country will also have its peace.
Right. Now, you rightly said it is the job of the police to prevent crime, but we as individuals also, there's some things that we can also help to reduce crime. I mean,
Yes.
Most crimes we know are committed on the spur of the moment.
Yes.
Like, for example, in your book you said maybe a car window left down, or maybe a door left open, or a window in the home left open. So we sometimes put ourselves out there for these crimes to be committed. So
Yes.
we also do have a duty to protect ourselves by, just keeping our various environments secure.
For sure.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's very correct.
What is the status of crime in the country at the moment?
Well, unfortunately, I cannot give you the statistics that the status of crime as against the positive aspect. But every blessed day we hear of crime, crime is reported. Unfortunately, it is not every crime which is committed that is reported. So it will be very difficult given the status of it. But right now, I think it's a bit better than, because with the police presence outside.
Right.
Yeah.
But can you tell us which crime is on the rise at the moment? Are there any particular ones that are being committed more or less?
Now, you see, we have the two facets of crime, what some of us call the traditional crimes,
Which are
burglary, robbery, rape, and so on. In fact, our attention is so much on that as against the crime of the elite. That is the white collar crime, the occupation fraud, the fraud. To me, the fraud, the white collar crime, is more on the ascendancy than these other ones.
Okay.
Because if we look at the quantum of what is involved in millions of cedis of state funds going out, of company monies going out, as compared to robbery and this, then robbery and all like this are just a minimal part.
Okay.
But ever since, we have concentrated our attentions on these so-called dangerous classes.
What are some of the things that we as citizens can do to help prevent crime?
That is why I have actually come out with this book.
So we'll come to the book in a minute.
Well,
So can you tell us some of the things that we can...
well, in the book, first I decided to let us exactly understand crime, the perceptions, the various schools of thought. Now, in the first section is what we call the consensus view. As we sit here, you know, you and I will agree that there are certain things which, if I should do now, everybody here will start, making some remarks. Such as perhaps picking this, which I'm not, the microphone, which I'm not to do.
Okay, like picking it and putting it in your pocket.
And putting it in my pocket.
Okay.
You see it? So all of us will agree that this guy is not a gentleman, he is a criminal.
Okay.
That is the consensus view. Then we have another view, which is the conflict view. That is the rich and the poor. The rich man has built his castle and is protecting himself. So if the poor man or any other person climbs the wall and does something, he goes to the court, and then the court sentences him. It's a conflict view. Then the third view is the interactionist. Thou shalt not kill. But the first two did not say anything much about thou shalt not kill. So the interactionist view, which is the third view, actually tells us that, well, depending upon the situation, you have killed, but we give you a sentence of a charge of manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
But then in that case, in the first two, they didn't take into consideration the fact that somebody may be deranged. His mental ability is not.
Right.
His age might not. So the interactionist view comes out with those amendments.
Okay.
Now, I will just give you my personal listing. For example, in the trial of the petition, the election petition, I saw these views actually being displayed by the various judges. You see, the consensus view, that is society's acceptance of certain values, discipline. Okay?
Right.
Yes, some were expressing the society's disciplinary aspect has broken down. We must do something to bring it back. Then others were also looking at the status of the various persons. What sentence are we going to give? You see, I sitting watching all that was happening with my psychological mind was able to, within myself, say, well, this judge has this aspect of the law protecting or guiding him in his sentence. This man has this, that person has that. Yeah, so that's why I first of all put down crime as the topic, the various schools of thought.
Okay. All right, so this is your book, A Practical Guide to Crime Prevention.
Yeah.
And where can we purchase this book?
It will be launched this Thursday, that is 27th, at the British Council Auditorium.
Okay.
And from there, you get to the bookshops, the various filling stations. Sorry.
Okay.
And then, even by the roadside, I'll get some boys to sell it as you drive along. Right. Because you see, it's very handy. I just got
extremely. This is something you can just pop into your handbag, and
yes.
maybe when you have a few minutes, you can just bring it out and
even sitting in a taxi,
right.
Anywhere at all.
Right.
As you relax, you just take a look at it, and perhaps you are also helping to protect and prevent crime.
Right. So aside from launching the book, how are you planning to embark upon this crusade? I mean, are you going to be traveling about and giving speeches or seminars or anything of the sort?
Yes, that is
giving talks.
Yeah, that is one of the next stage after the launch.
Right.
After the launch, there will be an organized group going to the various institutions, and then departments to actually educate, because all aspects of it fraud in all aspects
Yes,
in the offices.
I see here the different categories of crime that you have
Yes.
listed here. We have drugs,
Yes.
fraud and fraudsters,
Yes.
how to deal with identity fraud,
Yes.
advance fee fraud.
Yes.
That's 419.
419. Yes.
Okay, you've got cybercrime
Yes.
and Sakawa. Okay, how can we, protect ourselves from being victims of these cybercrimes and Sakawa
Yeah.
and all of these?
The issue is that, let's take the Sakawa and cybercrime. Now, cybercrime is the general total name for that particular fraud.
Right.
Now, within the cybercrime, you have what we call computer fraud, and then we have what we call computer crime. Right? Now, Sakawa comes under the computer fraud. That is where the perpetrators use the computer, its accessories, the phones and all others to commit this crime. So I've given guidance in the book as to how you are going to know their modus of operandi. So you can
prevent yourself from being a victim.
Yes.
Okay, so we will be taking phone calls for this segment. If you have any comments or questions or any opinions at all about the prevention of crime, you can phone in and Mr. Adlesi will be happy to help deal with your questions. Okay, I also noticed that there's a part where you talked about securing the home or when you're away from home.
Yes.
And things like that.
Yes, I'll ask you a question about it.
Okay.
Now, which is the weakest? No, you can. Which is the weakest point in your home? That is, if you should lose your key and you want to enter your home, where will you pass through?
Okay, are we talking about my particular home?
Yes, your particular
my home. It would be difficult because I live in a flat, in an apartment, and I'm on the second floor, so it would be difficult for somebody to climb the window or anything without being seen.
Don't make that mistake.
Okay. Before we get into that, I think we have our first caller. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Kay. How are you?
Fine.
Okay, please go ahead with your contribution.
I'd just like to know the price of the book.
Okay, Kay wants to know the price of the book. It hasn't been launched yet.
Not yet.
But you do have a figure?
A rough idea.
Okay.
20 CDs.
Okay, 20 Ghana cedis. That's very reasonable.
Very cheap.
And where can we get it?
The first is at the British Council when we launch it.
Okay.
After that, then the various shops will have
bookshops across the country.
Yes.
Okay, so 20 Ghana cedis. And after when is the launch?
That's Thursday.
Okay, it's this coming Thursday.
Yeah, between 12 and 4.
Okay.
At the British Council Auditorium.
Right, open to the public?
Yes.
Okay, so
open to everybody.
Right. Okay, so 20 Ghana cedis is the price of the book, Kay. All right, so you're talking about
yes,
me not being
you locking out yourself.
Right.
Right. Where will you
I'll
pass?
break the door.
You break the door. Yes. So the criminal.
The
the criminal is also going to break that lock.
Okay, we have our second caller. Sorry to cut you short. Good morning, Derek, all the way from Koforidua. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Derek. Derek,
Hello,
are you there?
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
Please, I just want to know where I can get some of the book when it's launched. I'm in Koforidua and I just want to know whether it will be available in Koforidua or something.
Okay, so will it be available?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'll
across
make sure
the country, right? All over?
All over the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll make sure that
after it's launched, you will
after
be able...
it's launched, by all means, everybody, I want everybody to get a copy.
Definitely.
The schools, everybody.
Yeah.
That's why at least the language, I've made the language.
Yes, I noticed. Very simple.
Very simple.
Font,
yeah, so that
easy to read.
Yeah, so that everybody understands whatever it is.
A lot of very good tips. What you can do, how to protect your personal possessions,
For
what
sure.
men can do,
Yes.
what to do if the worst eventually happens, if for some reason you do fall victim. Is that what it is?
No, what you can do, first of all, let's assume someone attacks you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are two things. Can you protect yourself? He wants your purse. If you know you cannot protect yourself, then what is much more important? Is it yourself, your personal self, or your purse?
So you give the purse.
That's all.
Okay.
And then find a way of what? Of reporting. But incidentally, perhaps in that instance of attack, you may not be able to identify the person because you would have been concentrating on protecting yourself.
Okay.
So it may be difficult identifying that person.
And it's very difficult to let your purse go as well, isn't it?
You better let it go.
Okay, so good morning, Confidence.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
Please, I want to answer that question that the man asked, the brother asked right now.
The question he
He's
asked
actually
me.
in the house and he wants to go out. Maybe these days we have house help in the house, take care of the house. At times we lock our gates and have the key outside, you know. And these days I can say that the prevention that we use wire goes and the rest, but criminals are still entering our houses, you know. So we have to do something about that. That's my point, okay?
Okay, could you please repeat that, Confidence? We didn't quite get that. If you could kindly speak up.
Okay, hello.
Yes. Please speak
Please,
up.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, please, I'm saying that nowadays we use money protection for our houses, but still, criminals are still coming into the house. Last week they came and robbed us, but I don't know. So these days we have to have house help. We have house help and the rest. We can lock our houses and the rest and have the key. Wherever we are going to, keep it with us. So that's my point, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Confidence. Did you get that?
Yeah, she's saying that even with the burglar proofs
Proof
and all
and all
that,
of that, they're still getting
people
robbed.
come in. Now, when you are building your house, you take along workers. A lot of people just pick people anywhere. Can you come and do this for me? Sometimes they may even have a duplicate key to that particular door or that particular lock. You will not know. So in your absence, they go and do their own thing. Now
That's a very good point.
Yeah, the maid servants you have, they also have boyfriends and all others. They communicate with them and they give them the tips as to what they could do. So you have to look at yourself, the environment, and protect yourself. You don't just pick anybody. These days, a lot of the maid servants are just brought from some point. You don't
From the
know
villages.
them. Yeah. Even sometimes your relation may be the thief in the house. Your relation, who is a servant,
Who sent you that servant?
Yes, who sent you that servant? That servant may be a thief.
Okay. Right. Okay. So back to that. The answer
Yeah,
about
the question.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So I said it
You
would
said
be difficult because I live
Yes,
in the
but
story building.
this question perhaps has answered this thing that someone might have
Have a key.
a key to your place.
Right.
Now the burglar coming in to steal will not emphasize meeting you. Sometimes he's not interested in picking up any of your jewelry or anything of the sort. Sometimes he just want to put a psychological stress on you. Yes.
So let me get this straight. The robber is not there to rob you. They just want to.
The burglar.
Yes.
You see, we have two differences.
Right.
The burglar is different from the robber.
Okay.
The robber carries arms. He
Right.
uses force on you. He knows he'll meet you. So he's prepared for you.
But the burglar?
The burglar wants to come and take it like we are sitting here. He will go take something from your room and go sneak away.
Okay.
That is the difference.
Doesn't even want to be seen.
At all.
Right.
He doesn't want to be seen. So what may happen is that this beautiful lady around, she bluffs too much. We are going to teach her a lesson. The next day you get back home, the place is turned upside down. Nothing is taken. So it's a psychological mental warfare they are waging on you.
Wow. That's an interesting one.
Yes.
Okay, we've got another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, George. How are you?
I'm fine.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I'm just watching the program and want to contribute to it
Please go ahead.
concerning about this crime prevention. Yes, I'm very glad this man, that this our father, is able to read this book or write this book and come out with these ideas for the whole public to know how to protect themselves whenever they are traveling or wherever they are in the public. So, and I would like to know whether if he can let it get to all the second cycle institutions so that, most of these our students, especially I'm a student before, and when this thing get to the boarding house, I think it's really hard. And all the headmasters must make sure that almost every student should purchase this book and to take it as a guideline for themselves, so that you see it will totally reduce crime, or even students who want to indulge themselves into this crime act. That's what Father was just saying. Even your own relative can be a thief. And when you are in a school, you see students, they tend to be armed robbers and here and there. But when this book is being distributed, I think they can always go through it. And whenever they go through it and have any bad mind, I think they will advise themselves for that.
I think you're absolutely right, and I totally agree with you, George. Thank you very much for your contribution this morning. So basically what George is saying is that you should make sure that these
books are made available
to the
second institutions.
Yes, which I think is very
it's very nice. But you see, I'm a law enforcement officer. And these days we'll find a way of solving that problem so that it doesn't become something like the teachers are forcing
it down their throats. Okay.
The PTAs must accept that no, this is good for our children.
Right. I find it hard to believe that anybody would think this is not a good book.
No, nobody will believe.
Yes.
Because
I doubt you have that problem.
No, there shouldn't be any problem.
Okay.
But I'm looking at perhaps I'm very conscious of legal issues.
Right. Correctly so. So how easy really is it to prevent crime?
You see,
is it as easy as we are making it out?
Yes, it is easy depending upon your consciousness, your level of consciousness. I'll tell you my personal experience.
Okay, before we get into that experience, please, can we speak with Jacob? Good morning, Jacob. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Jacob?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to contribute to your program.
Please do.
Yes, I just want to find out if you return from work in the evening and you meet a notice on your door. That
you meet a what on your door?
Yeah, a notice. A notice.
A notice.
Yeah, a notice on your door that you should get ready for maybe an attack. What would you have to do? And what kind of crime is that?
Does that happen?
They
actually give you notice that we are coming.
Well, of late I've heard few of such statements on radio and TV. Now, when that happens, then the first and foremost is that you alert the police.
Right.
That's your first weapon. Then after that, you examine yourself. How have I lived within this community, within this society, so that someone else wants to attack me?
I actually think it's a very good thing. If they give you notice, then you can prepare and prevent it.
That is why I'm saying you ask yourself, how well have I not lived in this community that someone else wants to attack me? Okay? Now, if these questions come to your mind, then you are ready to face whatever situation is
coming in.
It's a way of protecting and preventing any attack on you. But the first and foremost is you report to the police.
And the police will take it from there.
They will take it fast. These days, they are all over the place.
We thank God for that.
Yes.
Okay, now, so what can you tell us about citizens?
Yes. You were asking me about the protection. I said I'll tell you.
How easy is it?
Yeah, you see, when I was studying outside, I had a visa card, the international visa card.
Okay.
But I tell you, ever since for the past so many years, I've never used it, not even in Britain. Not even.
That is your credit card?
My credit card. Yes. Because it is a very dangerous weapon. I'm not discouraging people. When I go to the bank in Ghana, they said, the visa card, this, why don't you have? I said, no. I'll come to the counter and sign my check. Yes. You don't know the seriousness. If you read the book, then that is where the Sakawa, the cybercrime aspect of defrauding the banks comes in. You see, with that card,
wouldn't it be better for us to, find a way to make it work, make it better?
Yes, but now that
doing away with it, especially
now
that we are trying to go into a cashless
now that
economy.
You don't know, now that you are not conscious of it, that is where you fall a victim. I'm sure you will have heard a lot of people saying, "I went to the bank, some money has been taken, this and that, that and that." Meanwhile, you have your visa card. you have your card with you. I'll tell you something very simple. I did the research on that. There is a small machine, very small machine. You may not take note of it. After you have gone into a shop, incidentally in Ghana, we are not used to buying with credit cards, and so that is where our
we don't have a lot of
we don't have. But outside, you give your card, and then just as the guy is swapping it on the his official machine, there is a small machine by his side. He swaps it in that machine, and all details of your card are taken. And in a twinkle of an eye, those details are sent to either Russia, Moldova, Kyrgyzstan, India, China, and a new card of yours is produced.
It's cloned. I understand that. I mean, we all know the risks about using these cards.
So to protect yourself, to protect me, because I won't want any litigation with anybody, I said, look, I came and signed my check, so why don't I come and sign?
Okay, I'm very interested in this particular one, but let's go to the phone lines and then we'll come back to it. Good morning, Julian.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you? Please go ahead.
I'm okay. I just want to ask if I can get the book to buy at the Bachona Total.
Bachona Total.
Will he find it there?
Very soon.
Okay. As
Very
soon as
soon.
it's launched. After it's launched.
Immediately it's launched on Thursday. So by Friday, Bachona Total, be sure that you get it.
Okay, Julian. So you can go there and purchase the book on Friday. Right. So my concern was with the Visa cards that you're talking about. I mean the cards.
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't we rather find a way to make them work instead of just doing away with it because of the...
So, the people who have introduced it, that's the banks and others, they must find a way of protecting their customers.
So say until
because
then...
you cannot do
anything about it. So until then, it's better if we stay away from that.
I'm not saying you should stay away. You must be very conscious of how you use it.
That's what you keep saying, conscious.
Yeah, even in the book,
about everything.
You must be conscious about everything.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. What can you tell us about citizens' arrest?
The
citizens' arrest.
Arrest.
Yes.
Citizens' arrest
yes.
by whom?
Okay. Before we get into that, we've got Kofi on the line. Good morning, Kofi.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
I just want to contribute on what you guys are discussing this morning.
By all means, please go ahead.
About the security in your home.
Okay.
Yeah. In case it's burglar proof in your house, how safe are you in case of fire? This one is security over safety.
Okay, I believe Kofi's concern is to do with burglar proof and fires. How easy it would be for you to escape if there's a fire. I believe. Kofi, is that your question? Okay, Kofi's not on the line, but I believe that's what he was trying to ask.
Yes. You see, we have come to be imbibed with this burglar proof is now a fashion. You build and you surround yourself with all sorts of things without thinking of when this happens, emergencies. That is where you protect yourself. In case of emergency, what do I do? How do this burglar proof, how protective is it? And in times of danger, how am I going to escape? If you don't do that, then I cannot tell you that, oh, you are safe. Well, I don't know the type of burglar proof you are using. I don't know the type of keys and locks you are using. So you have to emphasize that, look, in times of emergency, this is the way I'm going to escape. That is why even in offices, you have escape exits.
Okay, so we're about to go for our last caller, but I believe we've lost him. I was asking you earlier on about citizens' arrest in situations where you find someone committing a crime, or citizens can arrest.
Yes, the fact is that the law allows it. That if you find me committing a crime, you have to arrest me and hand me over to the police. And not for you to take the law into your own hands and beat me into pulp.
Yes.
So that one is allowed. But you must do it protecting yourself also.
In the process.
Okay. Because that criminal is armed. And you might not be armed. So you have to protect yourself in trying to arrest him. That is why perhaps you have to assemble some one or two other guys to help you
to overpower the
Overpower
person.
them, yeah.
But you must hand them over to the police. That is very important.
You must hand him over to the police.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just before we wrap up, any last words about the book or crime prevention in general before we go?
Yes. You know, it has been my wish all the time to be able to come up with something like this, and perhaps more of this in future, so that we are all conscious, we are all aware of our shortcomings, and to protect each other. Now, you cannot ask me to protect you wholeheartedly and solely when I don't know exactly what are your priorities. You know your priorities, so you must protect yourself and your priorities, and then I will only assist in helping you to keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Roy Ableze, who's
Yes.
a former law enforcement officer, and he's come out with this book, Practical Guide to Crime Prevention. He's on a crusade to educate Ghanaians on the prevention of crime. And I must say, this is a very good book for you to have. It tells you so many things about how to deal with crime and basically how not to fall victim. And it will be launched on Thursday at the British Council.
Yes.
It's open to the public from 12 to 4 p.m.
Yes, everybody is welcome.
And after that, it will be on the market all over the country.